Now, here's what I want you to understand, that this crisis is allowing us to reimagine our society. And when I mean reimagine our society, I want to give you some basic things that I've seen happen just in the last 2 or 3 weeks that I never thought that I would see. Okay? Our use of technology in online commerce is going through the roof right now. I bet you a bunch of y'all who have never even heard of Zoom, never used Zoom in your life before 2 or 3 weeks ago, have been on Zoom regularly. You might even have a corporate account now. Because I've been on Zoom really since about 2016, using it to host, webinars and participate in meetings, and speakers use Zoom all the time. But some of you ain't never heard of Zoom until right now. You never heard of Slack, and you don't know what Slack is, but you know it right now. So this technology is showing you how much you can get done right from the comfort of your office, in your house, where you feel safe and secure, but at the same time is able to conduct business. So I want you to reimagine that this will be the new normal. That schools have recognized that having kids who live in communities and they don't have internet access at home, that they can't do schoolwork from at home. So some school districts have been putting Wi-Fi on the top of school buses, driving the school buses to the neighborhood where kids don't have internet access, and boosting the Wi-Fi from the top of the school bus so it reaches into all the homes so the kids can do their homework. Now, that's given us a reason to say, you know what? I think it's stupid that we charge people for broadband. It's stupid that we haven't made this free for everybody. It's stupid that we are making people to pay for something that people vitally need to be productive, whether it's school or business. So you can reimagine a future where broadband service will be free to everyone. So when it's free for everyone, what does that mean for you? What will you be able to do if you have free broadband? Think about what you pay on internet service every month. Imagine if it was free. What will you spend that $99 on, or that $5, or whatever it is you spend for internet service? Where will you reinvest that money? You got to reimagine how that's going to change. Another thing I want you to reimagine that could change is how we vote. Yes, I know we're not near an election day, but in South Carolina where I live, the primaries, both Republican and Democratic primaries, will happen in June. Some states had primaries last week or got some coming up this week. And so when these primaries come, can we really afford to have everybody leave their house to go vote at the same time when we're supposed to be social distancing and keeping ourselves away from each other and keeping ourselves? Can we really afford to all show up at the polls and cast our right to vote in America? Yeah, we could do that, but who wants to do that? Not me. I'm not trying to get corona from none of you irresponsible folks who are not staying home. So if that is the case, are we going to not vote? Of course not. There are people who died for our right to vote, and I want to continue to vote every election, and I don't want to die, but I sure want to vote. So what does that mean for how we might reimagine election day? Maybe election day doesn't become election day. Maybe it becomes election month. And the month of November is election month. So if your last name starts with the letter A, B, or C, your time to vote is on November 1st. And if your last name is the letter A, you're required to go and vote between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. so you can keep the social distance and you can have a few people go and vote. And so maybe we take the whole month to get through the alphabet to give everybody a chance to vote, keep their social distance, but to cast their ballot. Or maybe we decide that, you know what, we just always going to do everything absentee. So we're going to mail you your ballot in general, you fill it out. And yes, there's some states who've already been well ahead of us on this. California been doing that. Washington State been doing that. But this might become a national phenomenon to reimagine how we vote. that maybe we don't find out who won the election until December 1st. That's real. Or maybe we figure out the same way we've been able to figure out to allow me to bank from my phone with an encrypted way that nobody hacks my account and steal my funds, that we can vote on our phone. So these are things that we got to start to reimagine will be different. The last thing I want to talk about that's going to be different and we need to reimagine it being different is our nation's healthcare system. Now, when I say our nation's healthcare system, I'm literally talking about our public health infrastructure. We see right now, and let me just go ahead and put this on the front street. I know a lot of people have been saying, see, this is why we need Medicare for all. Because if we had Medicare for all, then we could deal with the coronavirus better. How? Somebody please tell me how. Because it don't matter if you got Medicare for all, or Blue Cross and Blue Shield, or Humana, or Aetna, you can still get the coronavirus. And yes, the hospitals still don't have enough ventilators. And yes, there weren't enough tests for you to get tested to know whether you had coronavirus. So it don't matter if you got health insurance. The question is, can you get the care that you need when you need it? So maybe healthcare shouldn't just be the right, but health should be the right. That we need to have enough doctors in our communities. Doctors who understand us culturally, that match our race, ethnicity, our gender identity, our sexual orientation. We need doctors that understand us, that can help us to get health when we need it. Maybe we need to make sure there are clinics in every community, free clinics, or what they call public health clinics. I unfortunately live in a city right now that doesn't have a public health department in the city. It doesn't have one. And I'm not going to give you the political story why it doesn't have one, but I know right now there are poor people, there are homeless people, there are community residents who don't have a place to go get help because there's no public health infrastructure. That's disgusting. And maybe because of this, we're going to reimagine a whole society where we're going to prepare ourselves and never let this happen to us. That maybe we invest 10% into the public health infrastructure that we invest into our military. Maybe so. Maybe we're prepared. Maybe we help our hospitals to be more places where they're not just where you go get treatment when you're sick, but it's where you go get healthy. Maybe we support them in a different way. Maybe we train more doctors and nurses and make sure that every neighborhood has somebody that's a doctor or nurse in it by incentivizing them to come and live in the communities in which they work. There's all kinds of things that can happen if we reimagine this new world. But my point of wanting you to reimagine it is, where do you see yourself in it? Where do you see yourself in creating this new environment? Maybe it's time for you to reconsider a new career in healthcare rather than what you were doing before. Because clearly there's always a shortage of nurses. As a matter of fact, the state that I live in South Carolina, by the year 2030, just a decade from now, we will have the fourth highest shortage of nurses in the United States of America. The fourth highest shortage. So healthcare, in my opinion, is a recession-proof industry where you always will have a job because somebody will always need you. You will always need to take care of somebody because all of us who get sick want to get well. So I want you to understand that this is a real opportunity for you if you reimagine a new future.